ahead and ask your question while I sip my tea here.
All right. Wait, time out. How far are you in, Frank? Because I don't want to like spoil the.
Oh, he's like right at the end.
Yeah, I'm right. Oh, y'all seeing it?
Okay.
Like
Okay,
right at
so-
the end.
Okay.
Hey, cousin Terry, you recording the screen?
That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to make sure I got the whole screen right here. It says it's recording right now, so I'm gonna use my phone just. In case.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, what is it?
Yeah, because it says the screen record right now, but I'm gonna just put my phone on and just get some extra just in case. Let me see.
She said it's okay. It's all right. Actually, all right, cool. So he's already passed that part. My thing is, man, I want to know.
Yeah, you about to leave now, though.
I want to know why.
She shady.
I guess I'll wait for I don't know. Can y'all hear me? Everybody?
I can hear. I think the TV is just a bit loud. This is kind of overpowering that.
Okay, for sure.
Yo, I just noticed my cat is all up in the background though.
Oh, he's all good.
Y'all seen the post-credit scene and all that?
Yeah, both of them, man.
Both of them, right?
Yes,
two of them. Yeah.
I really got a question about that last
I was using the
last one I seen.
Make sure I got it right on here.
Because I know it's two of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two.
Yeah.
That last one though, we gonna get into that last one though.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
that one had me really.
I just seen something in the little when I was fast forwarding it. I just seen something.
I was saying they had him triggered.
Man, that was crazy.
All right, everybody, gather around. The pharmacy looks like the best spot for medical and evidence collection can begin in the hardware store, Miguel. Let's move.
Yo, James Wu lightweight need his own.
Right, for real.
Low key. Low key.
Like just base it out here in Frisco, we'll be all right.
Right? They should. Will they do something in the Bay?
They're asking for you in the theater. Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, this part was tight. I like this part.
Yeah, this one I lightweight had a question about my wife Janae told me her thoughts was upon that.
I was sent by an old friend.
Yeah, that one had me. Which I kind of figured. You know what I'm saying? Like the scrolls, because I mean, Monica Rambeau, she's Photon, and like I get it, but I want to know who they bringing in.
Where?
Oh, it's definitely Fury.
Right.
Yeah,
he was the one that was dealing with the scrolls
She
the
was
last
like,
time we seen him. Yep.
Question is, which scroll is this? Is this a little girl scroll or is this the
Right, for real. That's what I was wondering too.
This is freaking Talos' daughter.
You think it is?
That's the thing, because Janae was saying it could be the mom, because she said like, your mom's friend.
Right,
not
remember?
necessarily.
Yeah. And they was with different scrolls too, and
Hold
they showed it as
on, wait. Let me, baby, hold on. I'm almost done, I think.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, skip to like I think it's like 2 minutes. I think.
Nah, you gotta go like to the end, bro. It's like a minute and like 30 seconds left.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, like
Right.
let me see.
It's like right after that.
Yeah. Just stop it right there, because I know it's like right after the they put the little Spanish right there. Yeah.
Don't play with me.
Like, let me see, because I got it here on my computer.
All right, it's going.
Like, I swear to God, I downloaded all of these. I downloaded every episode, and I'm about to put them on DVD.
Bro, yes, that's the smart thing to do.
Damn, they put it behind.
Yo, cuz, go to about 45 and a half minutes in.
Yeah.
It's about 45 and a half minutes in.
Here's the thing. I like how long this episode was.
Right, like by like 2-3 minutes.
It was 50
That's
years
all
almost.
I
kept skipping on.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wow.
Play,
thankfully,
which is heck a week. I don't know why.
The last 3 episodes should have been like that.
Let me see. I'm trying to find a way I can add more people. Man, let me see.
Yeah, there it is. That's it right there.
Oh, yep.
Tucked off.
Hold on, I'm right back.
Oh, for sure.
Would you be able to handle 1059 of 393 Cantaloupe? They called.
I have to go get my hat. Can't be having my hair being all wild. We're going up on YouTube now, I mean.
Yeah. So that's the book that
Yeah, that's
call
the Dark
it.
That part right there.
Bro.
Well, you know that's gonna definitely solve some more problems for Shirley, bro. Her doing that.
I'm gonna tell you right now. What that's talking about. Oh, tell me, Doctor Strange didn't do the same thing.
Yeah, he went.
Right, yeah, that was
when he was sleeping and he was reading the book at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, he went.
Tell me that's not the same thing, but she seems more advanced because her body is awake and her basically what is it like her not her spirit, but it's like her
No, that's right. That's her spirit, bro.
Okay, so it is the spirit.
Yeah.
So keep in mind though, like with Doctor Strange, when he did it in the movie, his body was asleep while his spirit was reading the books. But in this one, she seems more advanced because her body is fully awake, like she's fully engaged with her environment, and her spirit is reading the magic book.
Right,
bro.
So she seems more advanced.
That scene, I feel like had to take place. I think that's the multiverse, bro. Because the way that just the fact that she heard her children like that, her children are somewhere, bro. Like that was like I think that was like a future scene. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think her children and all
crazy.
that she created might be like in some sort of realm or some different dimension. Because some people in the Marvel universe, their source of power is not necessarily themselves, but like they channel that power from another dimension, like Nightcrawler or other people, or Cyclops and people like that. Most X-Men, really. She might be like Deontay said. I completely agree, and that's an attribute, or not an attribute, but that attributes to when she said that he's actually not as strong as her. Like the Sorcerer Supreme is not as strong as her. She was able to not only be conscious and her spirit also doing something else. That's cool.
Right. Man.
Exactly. That's the crazy part.
I'm not gonna lie. What I really liked about this whole series, though, was the fact that she didn't get her powers from the stone. The stone just enhanced it.
Yeah.
That was like one of my main takeaways of the series, because I'm like, okay, so there's a chance that the mutants were already there, but it wasn't until the snap that actually really like activated those powers within them. So they could be going up into that. I'm not gonna lie. I know we all mad about Mephisto not showing up and them getting more. I know we mad about that, but I'm pretty sure the Doctor Strange multiverse movie is gonna go straight directly into that. I think it's gonna start directly from after that.
Yeah.
But I ain't really sweating off that though, because it's been a cool season so far, and they really explained like the origin story of Scarlet Witch, and they showed a lot of good things with Vision too, which we haven't really seen through the MCU. So it was definitely good to see that. You know what I'm saying? But in terms like of the cameos and all like that, they was teasing about all these weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you could say it was a letdown, but I mean, I was still satisfied with the show. Like, you know what I'm saying? So far, I was still satisfied with it. It was still good.
I ain't gonna lie. I was a little let down because of how much they hyped it up. But at the same time, it's like, come on now, they ain't gonna try and really do it like that for us. They ain't gonna do that.
As you guys know, man, I wasn't really a big fan of like watching the show at first. I was very apprehensive to like even watching it.
I was not either.
And when I started watching it, you know, y'all was like, you know, it's kind of slow. Y'all told me it's kind of slow, but you got to keep on watching it to get into it. And I was not feeling it. But I started to really start enjoying it when they started to put like a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of things that will be setting up the universe that we, you know, will be seeing in a lot of the other movies and shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like
scrolls in there. What?
Yeah, I think it was after like episode 1 when everything started to like pick up, when you start to notice a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, especially with the Easter eggs and everything, because you notice a lot of things, especially with the bomb and all like that, with the toaster and all like that, like everything started to sound familiar, everything started to like, you know what I'm saying, like everything, it was just based off the reality she was in, you just wonder, okay, what's going on, but based off Scarlet Witch's power, we all know what she can do and all like that, based off reality and everything, so we already knew the direction we were going in, we was just wondering where timeline it was at, you know what I'm saying, because we was wondering where they was at, you know what I'm saying, because Vision was dead, you know what I'm saying, so.
Yeah, but Vision, so, okay, I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think that all that old Vision gave the new Vision was just memories? Or do y'all think that he also transferred a piece of like his consciousness or like something else?
I think what happened was, I don't think he really gave him anything. I think he mostly just unlocked the memories. Because if you think about it, the Vision that's with Wanda in this world isn't real. There's no physical being portion of him that's actually there. But White Vision, I believe, is actually the pieces that she had left to create White Vision. So when they did that, it's basically like, you know, a lot of his consciousness was still there because it wasn't part of the stone. It was actually basically in his hard drive.
So you're saying
so with that, it's like,
hey,
what's up, DJ? What's up with you?
Doing good.
That's
your hair's
good.
getting long, man. You outgrowing your dad's hair right now. Shoot, look at that. Afro Thunder
I'm trying
twins.
to catch up to him.
Right.
What's that we always used to say? I'm trying to be like you.
Real Afro Thunder twins.
Uh-oh, what's up?
Okay, so how about this? So in that case, you're saying that the White Vision already had, you know, the real Vision's memories. They just were unlocked when the old Vision touched them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he already had the memories there, but it's basically like within like an encrypted hard drive on an encrypted server somewhere to where it was locked away. So I think realistically, all he did was really just unlock those memories. That way he can really know. Like basically, he wanted to make sure he got woke.
Got you.
Like that's basically what he did. He wanted to make sure he was woke.
Got you.
Because if you notice, like after that, he basically dipped.
He did.
We didn't see him. We didn't see him the rest of the episode. He dipped.
I hope he don't become an Ultron.
Right, because they was teasing he could possibly come back too. I mean, they even show Easter eggs in like the Spider-Man movie, like when they show like his head and everything, and like they said it could possibly be like some of his like data and stuff, like something like in the Stark and all that technology and like that. But I mean, you'll never know, to be honest.
I think that because he has the old memories of Vision, you know, all people are, their personalities, a lot of that stuff is framed around their memories. So he might be kind of like going kind of on the good side, going good, hopefully, and he might even team up with Wanda to save the kids or something because he has that attachment already to her because of the old memories. Unless
I'd probably say that. I'd probably say he did unlock those memories, but I'd probably say he did give him maybe some memory of while he was within the hex. That he might have done. That he might have done just so that it could be like, okay, you know, it's gonna be more about like, okay, like I'm gonna unlock the memories that we've already had, but I'm also gonna give you these new memories that we gained. Right. So it could be a bit of both.
A complete vision.
So is he trying to like
this show, man, is crazy.
Yeah. It definitely left us with two fat old cliffhangers.
Like I said, I'm not even going front. Like I was a bit disappointed in some sense, but overall, I'd still give the show at least if I had to give like out of a 10, I'd probably at least give it like an 8.
Yeah, that most definitely is.
The show, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't give it. Me personally, I'll probably give it.
What could be? Was I there? Was I there?
I don't know. To me, like, the show was like a 6. I like the Easter eggs.
Little cousin.
They showed a lot of good Easter eggs that will be setting up a lot of the universe and a lot of the Marvel universe.
So then, with that being said, do you think that Falcon and Winter Soldier could potentially be in the same time frame, but they're just not focusing on what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is like 9 days after Endgame?
I believe so. Yeah.
I keep going.
Not right now, but Young Daddy's doing a video.
Oh.
Uh,
Ow!
You're all right.
Anyway, yeah, I do think that the timeline is also current to this going on with Wanda. I think that they're just in a different part because you have to understand a lot of these shows that they're going to be making probably is going to be within the same few months of like Endgame happening because they're not all coinciding with each other, which means that everyone has to be busy doing whatever they're doing.
Right.
yeah, but
I think because WandaVision, I think what they said like started after like 9 days after Endgame.
Oh wow.
I think it was, yep, because it was right after Endgame happened.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
because that's when
Like
they
9
came back from
days.
the
That's all.
snap.
Like,
Yeah,
damn.
because I'm like, yeah, because you gotta remember, because that's when they explained when the episode when Monica and all them came back from the snap and all that. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be like a couple of days, like right after.
Yeah.
Right. Because Monica was back for a few
Yeah.
days, then she talked to the director guy,
Yeah.
and he already mentioned that Wanda came by and stole Vision. So yeah.
Well, supposedly you already know how that turned out,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You already know how that
exactly.
turned out.
Yeah.
When he,
What he was lying about,
I already knew he was faulty, bro. I ain't gonna lie, like just right to that,
right?
just right there, he was explaining that in that video, because I already knew something wasn't right about that. But I ain't gonna lie, the fact that we seen the scroll, like, oh my fault. Go ahead, Simon.
No. But see, and that was the weird part to me. The weird part, the reason why I was thinking he had much bigger, probably was like Crystal or somebody that he to look like Wanda did to Vision's body. Like it looked like, cause remember it was that scene where like she like broke into the warehouse to Vision's body, get out. Like I feel like that could be like an illusion, and then like found out it wasn't. That's why I was like, bro, like that was up his sleeve that like nobody knows, but apparently it was just like a made up story type thing, It's weird.
Okay.
Hi.
Video.
Okay, yeah, I'm
I feel you,
got a
bro.
bunch of.
Man. Yeah, because now I see when the fact they showed the scrolls and all like that. I mean, and you already seen Nick Fury's already one of them already. Well, most of them already.
Bruh.
It could possibly, I can see Secret Wars or Secret Invasions now at this point. Like, I can see that story coming in.
You know what?
Like, right after this multiverse and everything they do with Wanda and everything.
One of the big questions that I got though, and actually that me and my wife got, what happened with Captain Marvel between her, Fury, and Monica that got them all like don't mention that name, or like every time they bring her up, it's just like a face where it's like why you keep bringing her up though?
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, because even when they said that,
I'm like, yo,
Monica,
what did she do?
Right, like she was so type of way about that too.
Yeah, exactly.
About that. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, they gonna have to explain that either in Captain Marvel 2 or at least either when she either another movie in the MCU. Like eventually they gonna have to talk about that. Cause I mean, it seemed like most people got bad blood with her for some reason. But if you remember, in some parts she'd even been on Earth in some time, because she'd been in other parts of space and like that. I don't know if it's based off that or it could have been something with her mother or something like that back in the day.
Because it was at least a smooth like 20 plus years. So
Yeah,
I think
she had been around since the 90s. It was her, yeah. That is, yeah.
Do y'all think that people it kind of been like the more
I'm about to say you breaking up so
pretty
long,
much
I ain't
like
gonna lie.
blaming her kind of for not being there to protect them or something like that? Like, do y'all think that's because she was like? Because remember, she was like, there's a lot of other planets that need help. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
I think it could be that. My wife was saying the same thing. It could be that, or it could even be the fact that maybe she wasn't there when her mom died.
Yeah, cause she didn't even know. Yeah, when she came back, she was wondering where everybody was at. Like she had no idea what was going on. Well, I mean, most people in that hospital didn't know, right? Everybody was snapping back and forth. Like that was crazy, bro. That was a crazy scene in the beginning.
I would be
That's
losing
what's
my
up.
mind.
Bruh, yeah.
Because it was the half.
Okay,
It was one of every two
and that was to
people.
happen now. Like, you think about it, if that snap was to happen now, I'd be like, okay, first of all, is my kid part of it? Or if me and my wife is part of it, who's going to get my kid?
But
Does
it's
people
more-
know to get
it's
my
more-
kid?
it's
Like,
even more
so
than
much
that.
going on.
Because it was half of everybody. So 2 of us in this call would have been gone.
Like, easily.
No, it's half.
For all we
Half
know,
of the
all
whole
of us
planet.
know. We don't know.
It was half of the whole planet. 2 of us in this room would have been
Or
gone. Most likely. It would have been crazy. Man, that's why everybody was in like. Even 5 years later, they still couldn't bounce back from that. You know,
Right?
That's crazy. They explained that in that because you seen in Spider-Man, I think that was Far From Home, how they explained it in that perspective with the kids and all like that. Like how some of them got older and some of them didn't, you know what I'm saying? And like how
It's
some
like, yeah,
of them
now
how
my
they got
little brother is
snapped.
my big brother. And I'm like, damn, that's shady.
Right, yeah. So like it's crazy how we seen this on like how they showed it on WandaVision and everything because Monica didn't even know how like no idea where her mom and all that was at. So for her to get that reaction out of that, bro, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Here's my next question, though. Do you think there's going to be a season 2? Because if you look at the title of episode 9, it does say the series finale. So do you think that's them saying it's the series finale for WandaVision as a whole? Or is it more so series finale as far as the show WandaVision in within the Hex?
I mean,
In the episode,
I had no idea to be honest. 'Cause
broadcasting.
yeah, I would even know because it's not like they didn't really announce it, but I mean they could though to be honest. So I mean anything can go
anything
with
can go,
Marvel,
yeah.
right? For real. But
If it made money, they probably do it.
But
again.
all we know is they for sure is gonna bring the X-Men. But we expected they was gonna bring it through WandaVision. I mean, we all know Scarlet Witch is important to the X-Men. Like she's part of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we was expecting most of that. That's why people expecting Magneto and Professor X to come through. But I mean, if you think about it, like I think they was like even while they was filming, I think they was already like getting the rights to them Fox characters at that time. So I don't think it could even work at that point anyway. It would just been rushed. So we probably might see in the multi-universe in that Doctor Strange 2 probably. We probably might see.
I'm not even going to when they said that. When they said that Quicksilver was basically Ralph Boner, I was like, bruh, for real?
That was
like,
right, bro. I didn't know what they was going to do with Quicksilver, bro.
That actually lightweight had me hot, though.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I was kind of
off bone.
Yeah, that was.
That's funny.
Like, bruh.
That's crazy.
That had me speechless.
He turned out to be a nobody.
Right? Like y'all just
he was a nobody
right now, just like she's a
nobody.
nobody.
This is why I wonder though: is it a possible way they can bring that other Quicksilver back? Because based off her match, what she's doing now,
if she masters her power,
that's what I'm saying. She could possibly bring the other one back too. That's why I'm like, what if they do something like that where it can be like two different versions of Quicksilver? Like how
her
they
power
did,
is like so Doctor Strange can manipulate all like substance of our reality, right? But she can create things in our reality.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I don't know. That'd be cool. She'd be
you
able
see
to
how
like,
she
create
created her
mutants.
kids, and she had created kids like do it
Create
like
mutants and stuff.
Exactly
yeah.
right.
Because honestly, currently in the MCU, mutants don't exist. They haven't mentioned anything like a mutant
Yeah,
or
they was calling them
metagene or
advanced and all
nothing.
like that. Yeah, they wasn't really
Like the
calling them
Dean,
miracles
like
or something like
literally
that.
the only name I think we got that's a mutant is Scarlet Witch, but they don't
call
play
her
it
a
as
mutant.
that's their mutant name. They play it as that's the name of a high ranking witch, basically.
I don't remember them calling them witches. I mean, sorry, them mutants.
They was
So
calling
that's what I'm saying.
advanced
So
and all
even
like that
even in the
through
comics,
Hydra.
Scarlet Witch is not considered a mutant.
No. Yes, in the comics. Yes.
Yeah,
of course, yeah. But in terms of ECU, just based off the rights of the characters, they couldn't really, you know what I'm saying, say mutants at the time, like especially when they got introduced, especially in Age of Ultron like that. Because through Hydra, they was calling them like advanced miracles and all like that. Remember when the dude was saying that through the post credit skin? I'm like, what? Like, what are they talking about, bro?
It's Ultron where he said we got an enhancement.
Yeah, something like that. Then he was talking about the twins with Quicksilver and Wanda and like that. Well, Pietro.
That's what I'm saying.
They had to call him Pietro. They couldn't even call him Quicksilver. They was calling him Pietro. Right. Man.
Yeah, I don't think they ever did.
That's what I'm saying. So think about that. Just make the Scarlet Witch, could that be a mutant thing?
Yeah, and I think that's probably the reason why they had to kill him off in Age of Ultron, just based off the rights and all like that. Because I'm like, why would they introduce him in one movie just to kill him off? Like,
yeah, I mean,
and they couldn't even use the Quicksilver name. Like, they had to use Pietro, and same thing with Wanda. They couldn't use the Scarlet Witch and all that until they got the rights to all that stuff. That's why they was calling her Wanda Maximoff. They wasn't really saying none of that stuff in the comics really yet until we seen WandaVision come out. That's when they had most of the rights to Fox and all that. Now they got the rights to everything at this point. I think besides the Hulk at this point.
Yeah,
and even then, actually, if you think about it, they may have the right. Like Disney may have bought Fox, but we still don't know if Disney is actually able to use X-Men because Fox is still its own like entity. So we still don't even know what that contract really consists of.
Yeah, true that. I mean, even Kevin Feige said like he will bring the X-Men and the Fantastic Four through here, but it's all a matter of when. You know what I'm saying? And you know, with the MCU, we can see that it could be time to be honest.
And honestly, I wouldn't even want to necessarily a Fantastic Four movie. I'd say give us a TV series.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing that's making success right now since the Mandalorian came out. Like since then, like you can make that work. To be honest,
the reason why I think as like a movie producer and like director and like all that, why I wouldn't want to make a movie because you won't make that much money because it's all streaming. It's all streaming compared to like box office and hella merch and all that stuff. Everything's streaming now, so make a show, and hopefully they integrate a lot of the X-Men that we care about in the show to make us want to watch it.
So now you do know that Nick Fury is supposed to be getting his own series, though, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Heard about that.
So do you think that Monica going to go see, if she is going to go see Fury, could that be the Fury series that they're talking about?
Yeah, and you know with Nick Fury, I mean most of the Marvel universe is connected to him, so I'm like you can throw a lot, especially they got the rights to these characters. You can throw a lot of people in there at this point with Nick Fury. And it started. All the cameos started with Nick Fury. That's the first cameo that started. So with him, that's how they can do it. They can use surprise cameos with his show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm not gonna lie, as much as I like Fury,
pay him.
They're gonna have to write it within the next couple of years. I won't even say the next like 2-3 years. They have to write it to where he goes into retirement because I do not want to see Samuel L. Jackson die before he gets to really finish this role. So I'd rather they finish the role while he's still living versus he dies, and then they're trying to do like a whole like Black Panther thing now because he passed before he could really finish the role of Black Panther.
I feel like
I don't have to kill Fury, but like you know you can go and have him go to like actual retirement.
You know he would have to be useful in the storyline. He hasn't really been useful in the last movies or any type of video content coming out. I think it's because they were concentrating on a lot of the characters that were involved in like the
original Avengers and
stuff like that. Yeah. But I think they have to make him make his storyline or his.
But I think that's what it's turning to now at this point because I mean you see where the story going at now. He's connected to the Skrulls, and I'm like most of the stories that's going on now is based off magic and cosmic power. You know what I'm saying? Like, but before you was just dealing with we was dealing with the Phoenix Stones and like that, but now it's going to a whole different level. Now we was seeing basically like 3 people who snap their fingers already, Thanos and Iron Man and Hulk. Like you already know that's going to cause a lot of effect to the realities and all like that. So then we got Kang the Conqueror coming in Ant-Man 3. So you know what I'm saying? You know how he part of time travel. So a lot of it can go anywhere at this point with Marvel.
So with Shang-Chi and was it like in the 6 Rings? I think it is. Oh, yeah, could that possibly be playing an element with bringing in mutants in the X-Men?
Yeah, because most
right? No, right? That's just 6 Rings. It's 6 Rings.
All right, 6 Rings is because you know who the Mandarin is, right?
No, I know who he was.
You don't know who the Mandarin is?
I know a few comics with him and him being like.
That's kind of like
his rings that he had certain powers and everything. He was Iron Man's like enemy, but I don't really know him like that.
See, I don't know how the MCU gonna do it compared to how the comics.
Maybe they already showed the Mandarin technically.
But that was you talking about Iron Man 3, right?
Technically, they did. Although that was ridiculous.
Yeah, technically that's not like I think only that's supposed to be technically the true Mandarin.
Nah, definitely not, bro.
Know.
It's definitely not, bro.
I don't know if they go. I don't know.
And then they gonna put Fin Fang Doom up in the big dragon all there. They gonna put that. So and they gonna have Shang-Chi fight. So I'm wondering. I don't know how strong he is to a point. He probably has some type of like kind of certain to like what Iron Fist got or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like where he has some type of like powerful type of chi or something like that. Like or even that 6 Rings we was just talking about. I don't know if he's connected to that because I think they gonna make it where him and the Mandarin is type of like I don't know if it could be like his father or something like that. They gonna put it to where they some type of connect in some type of way. But I don't know how they gonna do that though. But I'm like glad we getting him because that was really supposed to be the original Iron Man villain right there. But I don't know how that didn't work in the Iron Man 3, I guess. But no, I think they had what was his name? Titanium, man. That was the first one I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. I'm coming from the perspective of I ain't read none of the comics except for X-Men versus Avengers, and I didn't even get to finish that series. So that's like the most knowledge about comics that I got in my head.
I mean, it's like I was watching most of in the beginning it was like most of the TV shows and the games that made me want to like read the comics. I was like, I know it's more to this because I know it's like you got different like realities and stories and all like that. But in terms of what they going with the MCU now, it's like you can tell they're just taking bits and pieces of each comic, they just making their own like version of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I'm down for what they're doing. I just want it to be like to make sense. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes
and that's the thing though too, because right now with them basically like having like killed off some characters, that some characters are not even going to be back in the MCU or whatever. It's going to be hard for them to try to really get it for me to do X-Men versus Avengers, because you got to still incorporate Spider-Man, who's going to actually be in between the two. It's like, okay, I'm gonna fight for y'all, but then I'm gonna fight for y'all too.
You think that they'll actually do X-Men versus Avengers?
I mean, they could. They already did Civil War, and that's what happened right after Civil War, even in the comics.
Yeah,
too.
but they gotta have the X-Men first, and then they gotta.
They did.
I don't know.
They gotta build them characters.
I
first,
hope, bro. That'll be wonderful because that comic series was amazing.
Yeah, but they gonna have to build them characters.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I was like when they got the rights to do Fox, I was like, they need to do this in the next like 6-7 years because these actors are gonna be getting too old. They're gonna have to start replacing them, or they're gonna have to do like a reboot, or they're gonna have to go into like, okay, this was this universe. Now we're gonna go over here to this universe where recasting these characters makes sense. Because even now, I think before, like right up until Endgame, I think they called it the Infinity Saga. So now people are speculating that this is going to be called the Multiverse Saga.
Yeah, I mean, you can see where it's going now, especially with Wanda when she messed with that Darkhold book. Like, you see when the last time somebody was messing with that, like, it messed with time and everything. Where Doctor Strange and Angel have to just bring everything back together. Like, so
I wonder, if this new saga includes like X-Men being able to get their whole built up story and build up all the characters so they can be able to actually have a position here in the Marvel Universe. Because I personally want to see that happen. I want to see what they go. I want to see if they gonna really take the leap and do Wolverine and put somebody else as Wolverine.
I mean,
and that's going to be the thing though too. Because it's going to be like, okay, they're going to start incorporating the X-Men into the MCU, because it can't just be like, okay, like to introduce the X-Men, we're going to just do like placing some X-Men in some Marvel movies here and there. They can actually do some standalone X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd probably say don't even affiliate them with the Fox versions. So in a sense, I'm actually okay with them not saying that this Pietro was going to be the Quicksilver. I'm actually kind of okay with that. But because the Fox version of the X-Men series, the timeline is like so screwed up, it's going to be kind of hard to tell, like just to like bring them over from that universe to the MCU. Only reason why I wanted them to do that was just because of the fact that it's going to be like, oh, okay, their backstories is already there. We don't have to dive into it too much. But now it's almost like I'd rather them do like backstory separately going into the MCU. Because Blade can actually have his own backstory now. I want them to keep it rated R, but you know how that's going to probably go.
They already announced it's going to be PG-13.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to be, because you know how Blade movies is.
Wait, PG-13 is no blood, right?
I mean, some is, but I don't know how Blade is. Like,
it's literally
vampires. That's what I'm saying. He deal with vampires, so it's like,
bruh.
it's like to not see a lot of blood is gonna be crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They might change that. Maybe.
It'd be good possible though, but they said the only rated R movie was Deadpool 3. I think that was the only one they announced that was rated R at this point.
And that man, Blade.
And that would be hard to have Ryan Reynolds do Deadpool without it being rated R.
For real, to be honest.
Like all of his fourth wall breaks, that's hard to do.
Yeah. Cause I think it was, cause it's a lot of characters you can make like that's based off series and like films that can be rated R. Like they just brought the Punisher up in here too. I don't know how
Really?
they going. Yeah, they got the Punisher and Jessica Jones, so they got all the Marvel like TV characters that was on Netflix. Like Luke Cage. And Iron Fist.
I think they're trying to continue. I think they're trying to actually continue the Punisher series now.
Oh,
I don't think they're going to reboot. I think they're actually supposed to be continuing it, and I think they're trying to actually get it on the Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, I wonder because I mean he was first introduced through the Spider-Man comics. Like that's how he was introduced. So I wonder if he gonna come through like that, or he was a lot of like stories with Nick Fury too, and like the Black Widow. So I heard with the Black Widow movie, they can possibly have like the sister, like supposedly her sister on there, replace her as the Black Widow. Supposedly, I think that's what's supposed to happen. I think that's the whole purpose of this movie. I heard supposedly. But
I'm not the more they delay the Black Widow movie, the more I'm kind of like I don't want to watch it.
yeah, because I only heard really two things about this movie. It's either that and the teaser of the Thunderbolts that's supposed to come in. Because you know that what's his name? General Ross is in it. And you know he gonna most likely try to get the same power as Bruce Banner at this point now.
Oh, they gonna give it to him?
I mean, because they already teasing it. Eventually, he was gonna
the red.
They said he was gonna season Falcon and Winter Soldier too. We probably might see some of that up in there because you know he's part of the Sokovia Corps and all that. He wanna put him on there.
General Ross is such a sucker. Like I went back, I think it was like back in 2019. We went to go rewatch Incredible Hulk. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, bro, you have to square up eventually. You talking a lot of trash right now.
Yeah, and you see, and then they said they're gonna possibly bring Abomination back through She-Hulk. That's obviously gonna make Ross.
He always come back.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because it's gonna be to a point where he ain't gonna have no like other like backup to do it to a point. He had to do it himself, and that's how the Red Hulk even started in the comics. Like he didn't have no help to a point. He had to do it himself, where he had to just say, forget it, I'm gonna just put this game up in myself. Then that's how he turns to Red Hulk. So I wonder if they might just go that route with him, because I mean they could, but I mean he ain't.
So they're saying in the She-Hulk series, they could be they're going to introduce She-Hulk and possibly Red Hulk too.
I don't know. He old, man. He old.
I mean it's a lot. I mean Nick Fury is old. I mean it's a lot of people.
Samuel Jackson is he old, but he's not like.
He's getting a little pep in his step.
He's young. He's spry.
And that's CGI too, so it's not like he can do necessarily too much. He just.
I mean, I'm talking about like the build up to because they ain't gonna make him be. If he ever go become Hulk in that one movie, it's gonna be like the end of the movie, or like maybe the later half, like at the climax, which is later on.
Like I said, this is theories. We really don't know. We've been hearing these things with WandaVision, and it's not even right. We haven't seen no cameo with no X-Men, so we don't really know.
That's the case. Then is Mark Ruffalo gonna be coming back as Hulk? Thing? I know before they said that he was let go.
It wouldn't even make no sense, right? Yeah, he has to, but they already announced he is though. But
okay.
But yeah, it wouldn't even make no sense if he didn't though, because I mean that's how you get to it.
Okay.
Then, but I mean, my thing is because with the Hulk, like especially in this MCU, like he's connected to a lot of the Avengers too. So I wonder who else. And then you know that Jennifer Walters, she plays a lawyer too, just like Daredevil, and like it's a lot of characters she's connected to. So I mean, you could throw a lot of cameos up in it. Then you gotta remember Spider-Man on the run too, so they probably might connect her story or Matt Murdock's story to his too. You know. Because eventually he gonna need some help too.
I think that's gonna be a tough one to do because with the whole Spider-Man controversy, you know, being over there at Sony, I don't think they can really incorporate too many MCU characters because the only MCU characters they really had in there was Iron Man, Jon Favreau, what's her name, Pepper Potts. I think that's basically it.
I'm trying to remember. I think they had Nick Fury and they had Nick Fury and Maria. That was on Far From Home. I don't know if they can count too. I mean,
So that's those. So it's just those five. So and even just to get those up in there, it's pretty tough. Not to mention, I mean, you can kind of mention the Skrulls too if you want.
Yeah, but if you realize they saying with most of these movies that's coming out with based off the Sony characters like Morbius and like even though they got Vulture up in Morbius too, which he's connected to the MCU, so I don't know if like they got some movies where they gonna connect some of these MCU characters between Sony. You know what I'm saying? Like because
Carnage 2 was supposed to be coming out this year too.
Yeah, and they saying Spider-Man's supposed to be supposedly in that one too. I don't know if that's true or not. They saying he's supposed to like be in a cameo or something like that.
That's a big jump to have to go from New York to Frisco just to calm shit down.
No,
unless Carnage makes his way over to New York.
Yeah, I think that's what he probably what Eddie Brock might end up doing. He probably might going to New York because I think that's what probably might end up happening. Because I mean, eventually, if they find out he's Venom out there to a point, he has to move. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to find a way to where he probably just might escape and try to.
But he's a good guy. right?
Venom's
supposed to be
See,
bad.
I don't.
That's
Yeah. But
he's
see,
a
when
good guy.
Spider-Man come in, I think that's where they gonna make him more like, you know what I'm saying, more evil and all that. Because right now, it really ain't no point of it because they really didn't bring. I mean, they gonna bring Carnage in the second one, but in the first one, I mean, it was. I think who was the first one? What was his name? I'm trying to remember the first. The first symbiote that was besides Venom. What was his name? Riot. That's his name. Riot. It was Riot, and then it was Carnage. I'm trying to remember. It was one more. But I don't know if they was. It seemed like that's what they doing, like a trilogy of all the symbiotes, and then they gonna just connect Spider-Man right after that. It seemed like because we already seen Riot, and now we seeing Carnage in 2. So in 3, I don't know if they gonna do Spider-Man versus Venom, or they gonna just connect all the symbiotes together. I'm not even sure. But it seemed like that's what they doing with the Sony movies. But I don't know.
They need to start making Spider-Man's.
You got to think about it too. With Spider-Man, they got to bring in Miles Morales because they had problems.
But my thing about that is,
kinda.
yeah. But the cool thing about that is you got the multiverse where they saying you could bring in all the Spider-Mans in, was like that's the perfect way to bring them. Just how they did with the animation movie, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can do like similar to that, and they already got the Prowler and everything teased up in the MCU already. They got what's his name, dude that played what's the dude?
I know you're talking about Donald Glover.
Yep, Donald Glover. Yep, him. Yep, he's supposed to be playing the Prowler because he was already in. I think it was Homecoming.
Yeah, he was like
he was supposed to.
He was in Homecoming, and he was like, "I got a nephew in the neighborhood."
Yeah.
So that he's talking about Miles, and I think if you actually look him up,
was that supposed to be him?
Yeah, that was supposed to be. He says the nephew that was Miles. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So he's already supposedly teasing, and then one of his friends from the comics, he's already in there, supposedly in that school already. But I don't know how old he is in it, because I mean, if that's the case, he's already in it. We just haven't seen him yet.
I feel like some teasers Marvel put in there.
They do be like, right, yeah. Because I'm gonna be honest, that one thing where they said Spider-Man's supposed to be in Iron Man 2, that was they just did that just because they brought him in hella late.
It might not mean much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some do just be like a pushover to me. Some of them.
They need to streamline, or at least like make Spider-Man's storyline make sense. It's been kind of everywhere right now, and I'm like, okay, where's this going? Because like how Captain America and like Thor and all these people, they had their character development, and the movies surrounding that character development. I don't
can
know if I
blame
see that.
Sony for that because I'm like, it's all because based off the rights of these characters. Same thing with the X-Men. That's why we never seen that with the MCU yet. Like, you know, Kevin Feige, that's the first thing he did when he came with Marvel. Like, was the X-Men. So you think he wouldn't do that first? Of course he would have. Like, it was just based off the rights of everything. Same thing with the Hulk too. Like,
I think the character development for Spider-Man, I feel like that's what they're doing because let's be honest, we don't need to see Uncle Ben die again. We don't need to see that shit.
We've seen that at least twice already.
But for Tony Stark to take that place, he's developing into that. Like he's developing into the Spider-Man that we would. I'm not gonna lie, I think he's the best Spider-Man that they've ever done because they've got the Spider-Man wit. He still looks young. He could even be going into college now because of like if they do like the little like they can do like a little like leap of the time there after this third one.
Yeah,
but
damn, he's been in high school for a minute.
Other than that, I think it's still pretty.
But you remember they was Snap? Remember he was part of the Snap too, though.
Oh, he was part of Snap.
Spider-Man was part of Snap. Some of them in that school was too. So,
and do we know what grade he was in? Because I think he was a junior.
I think he was a junior.
By
he was a junior.
He could be a senior.
Yeah, because he got his powers when he said he was. I think he was 15. So at that point, he could have been. He could have been a sophomore.
Yeah. The next movie should probably be him as a college student, because I think it was his senior year. This last movie where he actually went to another country.
Even in I think in Secret Invasion, that's when he was becoming an adult too. So that's all it's leading.
I want to say that was his junior year. I could be wrong. I might say that was his junior year because if you think about it, they never really talked about like them necessarily graduating. Like what they're going to do after school. It was more just like, okay, we deserve this trip because a lot of shit went down.
And you gotta remember, this is the first time his identity being revealed in live action. Like that's the first time we ever seen that, So we don't know where this story can go with. We don't know if he gonna continue like either going back to school or what I'm saying. Like we don't really know, because I mean, how can you do that when you got all these villains knowing where you at? You know what I'm saying?
I think because they could be doing a part. Because I do remember hearing something about it in the comics where there's a version where Spider-Man did reveal him, like Peter Parker did reveal himself, but he was working with the Avengers under Tony Stark. If I remember correctly, like you remember the old like the 90s animated Spider-Man when they actually like it was like where Madam Web came in.
Oh yeah.
And she like brought in like all the different Spiders from the universe.
Yeah, Spider-Man dimension.
Everybody knew Spider-Man was Peter. Like everybody knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. So they could try to like getting a little more into that.
Yeah, and you think about it, they bringing most of like the characters from the Spider-Man story up in it right now. Like most of them are all connected to Spider-Man at this point now, but which is unfortunate because when Chadwick Boseman died, it seemed like they was gonna connect most of Wakanda and they was gonna bring Atlantis up in it. But since when Chadwick died, it's like you can't even do that now at this point. To a point, they trying to focus more on like most of the cosmic characters and like you know what I'm saying, Spider-Man and Sony characters.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this new Black Panther movie.
I don't know either, bro.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. Me and my wife talked about this. We don't fully know exactly how they can do it, but this is the best two options. You either get Shuri to be Black Panther, and but Killmonger wasn't actually dead. They actually kept him alive, and trying to do something to where like he kind of has like a change of heart somehow, or there's still conflict, but because he still wants to have the throne, he'll help Shuri out with whatever it is she's trying to do, or just do it to where like kind of like the same thing though, but like incorporate Killmonger to like still take over the mantle of Black Panther because he is technically also heir to the throne. So either way, Killmonger can't be dead because it wouldn't make sense for M'Baku to be Black Panther.
They didn't necessarily show it when he, you know what I'm saying. They just showed when he pulled it out, but that was really it. You know what I'm saying. They can go.
It looked like he died, but then they are in Wakanda, so they can bring him back alive if they want. I think that
because he said I can still help you. I can still keep you alive.
I think that the storyline
because he didn't want to be slave.
I think the storyline might be Shuri being Black Panther like it was in the comics eventually. And I think that the story is going to be really good. Like the plot of the movie is going to be good because I think it's going to actually include like some teasers of them fighting not Atlantis, but Atlantis, like eventually.
Yeah, but they gonna have to get. They gonna have to show how Shuri learned that because she's way different in the comics than how she is in the MCU. Because she in the comics she can fight. It's just as good as her.
They might train her.
That's what I'm saying. If they show that, then that's the perfect way to do it. Because I'm like, if you look at most of the leaders of that's going to Avengers going forward are mostly women now. You got Captain Marvel, you got Monica Rambeau now. Like most of them about to be leading going forward. So if you bring Shuri in, that's perfect right there. And she's important. Like the vibranium is mainly important in the MCU right now too.
And
so.
she's a scientist, so she's
one of the smartest ones in there, right? So I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. Literally the hardest part is gonna be how they're gonna say that T'Challa is dead.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
They have to play it to where he's dead.
But you remember, I think he was killed off in the comics too, but I don't know how they gonna do that in terms of this, because he came back from the snap too. So it's like now if it was,
we don't know that.
Nah, but I mean that's.
Sorry. Let me not say that. Excuse me. He did come back from the snap. I meant to say we don't know if he actually survived the war, that fight.
Yeah, he was at the end. He was on the
that balcony. That was in the extended cut.
The extended cut when they showed when they got on their knees and all like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't necessarily put that in that, so I mean, I don't know how they can do that. I mean, it is gonna be difficult to explain. I'm gonna be honest, because
I don't know.
Because they said they don't want to CG his face up in there, so it's gonna be tough.
Bro, I feel like they're gonna do the same thing they did with Carrie Fisher in Star Wars, bro. I feel like they might do that too, bro.
So I think it's actually still gonna be Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman.
But it's gonna be CGI.
Most of it is gonna be him.
I think they might kill him off or something like that. They might show it just be a short CGI cameo where he might get killed off or something. It could possibly be that.
So that might be his last movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? And at the end,
movie, right?
At the end, it shows like Shuri or somebody taking up the mantle somehow.
It could
okay, I can dig that. Because
I don't really see how. I mean, you have to explain how you killed him all, because that's like he was going away from the snap, so you have to explain what was happening with Wakanda when the king was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Exactly.
You got to explain that too. You know what I'm saying? Then even when Okoye explained it was like an earthquake going on under the Wakanda, like that's basically Atlantis. She was basically explaining it that whole time.
I wonder. I don't know. There's so many unknowns. There's too many unknowns regarding
Solo,
this,
that's you, bro?
Black Panther movie.
Here? I don't know if you can hear it.
Have you guys heard any information on him? Any news?
No, you just
about Black Panther or just like MCU in general?
About Black Panther.
Not really. Like the only thing I know is that I heard that they're not trying to CGI Chadwick up into the movie. That's really all I heard.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, I didn't even think they was gonna do Carrie Fisher with Star Wars. I didn't even think they was gonna do that, but I mean,
what they did with Carrie Fisher in Star Wars though was that they used, I think, old deleted scenes, like old footage of her to put into the movie.
but was she more than
So she
one
basically
film,
acted.
She was in all Choosies, was she? She was in all the Choosy movies, right? In the last
She was
one?
in the first ones, the first trilogy. And then
No, I'm
she was
talking
in-
just
about the last two that came out.
Yeah, she was in the last.
She was in
one.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and she was in all three of them, right? Skywalker too, was she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saying all that was old footage they put in all three
No,
movies?
not only in some half of the second movie and then all of the last movie.
Yeah.
She died when she was filming the second movie, and then
No, I thought she died before they were filming the third movie.
I thought
Was
she
that
was already
2000 like
filming for it.
15 or
I
16 when
thought.
she passed away? I think that was.
I don't even remember.
Some I forgot.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But yeah, but I
I
mean,
don't know. It wasn't that. Her CGI was passable, but it wasn't that good.
yeah, because what was that? I think it was in that movie when they had the Darth Vader cameo when she was in that. What was it? Rogue One. In Rogue One when she was in that. Was she in the cameo in that one?
Yeah.
Too? Yeah. That was like the main. I think that was like the first
better.
one. That was that one, and then that's when I seen her in the. I think that was the Last Jedi. I think.
I remember watching when they first started to do the CGIs really well for the Star Wars movies. Is when they had CGI'd Grand Admiral, not Grand Admiral, but Grand Moff Tarkin, and his face looked real
Oh,
to
Rogue
me.
One. Rogue One, that was such a trip, dude.
Bro, his face looked so real to me, and you seen like face twitching in the skin. I was like, bro, that's good. And then they first got an actor, just an actor to stand in to put the suit and the dots and everything on. That dude looked like Moff Tarkin. It looked like that dude.
Yup.
So I think that
And
that
back in
was
the same
really
one
done
that
well.
did Leia.
Yeah, I think that was really done well. The Leia one just seemed like it wasn't done that well for some reason. Maybe it was because someone else was working on it.
Because of, I think the reason why it didn't look too well was because it almost looked like she looked a little too shiny, too bright.
Yeah, like the light wasn't. The light of the environment wasn't reflecting well off of her as a real person. You know?
Yeah. Whereas Tarkin, like, he was in a dark area, so you don't really have to do too much lighting with that one.
Right.
But,
I mean, but man, it looked good. I really liked that scene.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, with Chadwick, bro, I mean, that's unfortunate that he passed, because I mean, he could have been like the leader. I mean, the Black Panther is one of the leader of the Avengers going forward. Like, he was supposed to be that. That was his whole purpose of being in the MCU. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they had to bring
bruh, that was the whole thing. I was literally waiting for them to incorporate X-Men so that way we could see Black Panther and Storm be together.
Bro.
That was going to be my thing.
Man, bro.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the best couples in Marvel Universe, you know what I'm saying? Or just comics, period. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do y'all think that? Because that's a lot of missed opportunity, bro.
Bro, it is,
That's
bro.
a lot of missed opportunity.
That's taking out Storm, Namor. You know how many characters that's part of Wakanda, like that. You know that went against. You know what I'm saying with Black Panther. Like,
Do y'all think that they would recast?
bro, that's why I'm nervous.
I think
about, 'cause
eventually
they could possibly do
I
that.
think
bro.
eventually they could. I'd say right now, don't.
Because he's
I'd
been
say
in
right now,
yeah.
3 movies.
Because if you look at Chadwick Boseman's acting, he acted as a lot of like great historic people: Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown, T'Challa, Black Panther. That's 4 just right there. So I mean, because of how iconic he was with his acting, that's why I'm like, don't recast him at all. Just don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, do it to where it's probably even in a whole different multiverse. Then it could be like a whole different thing.
I think it make sense for sure. They can make it make sense.
Yeah, I'd say hold off on it for as long as they can.
Or they, like you said, you could bring Killmonger back, because I think he tried to take the mantle in the comics too, or he was trying to be under Wakanda, just protecting it. Like, I don't know if they might go that route with Killmonger if they bring him back.
Damn, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Man, when he died, man, that hurt us to the core, man.
Because he was in 4 of their movies as Black Panther. First, he was in Civil War. Then he was in his own movie. Then he was in Infinity War, Endgame.
Yeah.
And although he had a small part in Endgame,
he was the important part of Endgame.
He still had a part,
right? I mean, Wakanda in general is important to the Infinity Gauntlet in general. You know what I'm saying? So,
without them, it wouldn't happen. They wouldn't want it.
Bro.
If you think about it, Wakanda has actually been mentioned in the movie since
Yes.
Captain America.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
Yep.
With the shield
look
with the
at his shield,
vibranium.
right? His shield.
Yeah.
For real, bro.
First Avenger, yeah.
True that, bro. Yeah.
They was planning on bringing him in eventually.
And then they mentioned it again in Age of Ultron with Claw.
Yep.
They actually went to like Wakanda, so it was like, come on.
That's when I knew,
Wakanda was
because
the
when they said they
place.
was going to Africa, and then
Yeah.
we seen Claw, that's why I'm like, yeah, we have to get Black Panther after that. That's the main villain to Black Panther right there. So I'm like, and then they already teased, like, I think they was talking about where they would say they was gonna talk to his father and all like that with the meeting and all like that. So I'm like, yeah, eventually we're gonna have to see T'Challa too. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, but they introduced him pretty good too,
That's the sort
bro.
of talk. I feel like even though Shuri might be able to do a really good job being Black Panther, I think that it still wouldn't be as good as having like Chadwick Boseman
Of course not. Yeah, bro.
being Black Panther.
And here's the thing with that too. If you think about it, if she does take on the mantle of Black Panther, when she has to take in the herb and she has to go into their ancestry realm, would she be talking to her father or would she be talking to T'Challa?
Could she be talking to
Who
both?
would it be?
'Cause did T'Challa see mostly everybody in the astral
Probably
plane too? It
both.
wasn't just Dad. Remember that?
Yeah, I think she'll be
seen
talking to
both
both.
I think because remember T'Challa seen multiple people in the astral plane too. It wasn't he was talking to his father, but it was still people behind him too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it could be like that.
Like it was
could
like
be-
multiple ancestors, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It could be like something like
then what they
that.
would have- So then what they would have to do then is they would have to get like old footage of T'Challa from like Black Panther where he's just there, like no script or anything, but she's talking to her father. Or if they do Killmonger, he wouldn't even probably have to go back to the astral plane because he still had the herb in him. So if he is resurrected, then he wouldn't have to go back to the astral plane because he already has that power. Unless they force him to take that power out, then at least when he goes to the astral plane, he's talking to his dad again. He's not talking to the previous Black Panthers. So that's the whole thing. Like it's still that whole big controversy of what to do with that.
Yeah.
It's too many unknowns, and I think that they are having a hard time solving this one.
Right.
Bro. Because he, like I said, he
So, I
was
mean,
a big piece of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just Wakanda in general. Because they was... at
Did
first they was-
Chadwick have like a brother or something that they could like have him be like? Because if they were to like have him have a brother, like if
Like they did with
Chadwick
Paul
has a
Walker.
brother,
His
or
name
he
Paul Walker.
can do that acting, I'd be okay with that then.
You talking about from Fast and Furious?
Yeah, I know,
That's
like
how they did it.
like
Oh,
the
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
like
Paul
the
Walker had a
brothers.
twin.
You right.
Yeah.
I heard they just delayed
Because they look alike.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Like
I
don't
mean, no.
CGI, like don't do our king that way.
I feel like if they could do
You know they
it
did it before with
good,
the MCU.
because
They recast
Star
before.
Wars, their CGI in Marvel has been pretty good. Star Wars CGI is hit and miss. Depends on what you go get. It depends on the direction, probably.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like for me, I say don't do the CGI because of what he meant, not just to the MCU, but to us as as black as our black culture. That's why I'm like don't water it down with the CGI. Like keep it the way it is. Just kind of find like a whole other story to it. Like keep,
I'd
like,
rather
keep his
have
legacy.
Chadwick both. I'd rather have like him as Black Panther than not though. That's how I'm feeling right now.
I understand what you mean, but it's still just like
Somehow.
I feel like it's because it's still too
Mask
soon.
on, keep mask
Like we
on or
just
something.
lost in 2020.
I have no
Like you feel me? Like
idea,
we
bro.
just lost in 2020. I feel like it's too soon to do that. Like if it's like
When is the movie coming
next
out?
2-3 years, I
I
think
think
it's
it's like,
cool.
was it? I think
It's
it's
one
next
thing I
year.
think coming out this year or next year.
Yeah, I
It's
think it's
definitely
next
not
year.
coming out this year.
Yeah, it's next year. Because, I mean, based off what's going on with COVID and
this
all
is
like
next
that,
year,
they for sure ain't going to do it now.
Yeah,
It's for sure
supposed to be.
next year.
I'll go on.
And I would think that's part of
I think
So
phase
if it's
four, I
if it's
think.
releasing
It is,
next
it is,
year,
it is.
then they're already making it right now. So the decision that they made on this must have been a difficult one, but they made one, and they must have a tight seal on this information because I ain't heard nothing nowhere. So,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
interested.
you heard they still going like they still announced like it's still gonna happen, but you in terms of the story, they haven't really put no updates about it since he passed away. They just said it's still gonna happen a little bit. You know?
For
So
sure.
we didn't know how the first one gonna turn out. I mean, it's one of the best movies in the MCU, but I mean that's when we had Chadwick though.
I don't know, man. And then it's like, do they still have the heart shaper? I don't know.
I mean, they is bringing the
I don't
original
think they
cast
do. I
back.
can
That's
see
a
them
good
finding
thing.
it like
but-
all right there. There's no way it's just all right there. Sure, he had to been like, okay, they
They had to
think
be
it's
hiding
right here.
something.
They had to
Like,
have it
me a whole-
somewhere else,
I've been
right?
If
cooking in
you
the kitchen.
remember, Shuri was hiding the necklace with because you remember when Killmonger when he beat T'Challa that first time and she had one of them necklaces for T'Challa to have his own suit when he went to go fight back with him. Remember that? So I'm like, she could have did that with the herb too. You know what I'm saying?
True. She could have swiped that thing for sure. Okay.
Or even the women that he told them to burn it, like they probably not would have actually burnt everything. They probably would have could have snatched them, put it some, you know what I'm saying, then burn it like the other one. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying though. Like I feel like it can't all be right there because that's just. I feel like that's just too easy for the all be.
Yeah, I think.
But can they create?
I thought the first
can they
herb
make
is
more
there,
of that
but they
herb,
can
though?
incorporate the vibranium.
And it's a way she can sure can do that though.
I mean, well, technically, it's a naturally occurring herb, so by definition, it could grow again.
Yeah, because I'm
Exactly.
like,
Right?
just like the way she was trying to do the Mind Stone with Vision, like it's like,
Well, no, because the herb. So if it grew out of the soil of Wakanda in the mountain, if it grew out of the soil, it could grow again.
but then he said it was hit, but Wakanda was hit by something like
they just harvested it.
Yeah, that's what.
right.
Yeah, that's because remember it said in the beginning it was hit by like a meat. I think it was. I don't know if it was based on something about a Infinity Stone or something, but it was.
Well, no, it's because the soil inside the meteor. So the meteor hit the mountain or hit the ground. It became a mountain or whatever eventually over time, and in the mountain there's soil, and in that soil this, this herb grows like that. So if that's the case, it probably will grow again. That's
If it's been like that for centuries, I mean, it had to be more of the herb growing somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Not just in one location.
And you think about it, they're not the only tribe that's there, so you don't know if the other tribes.
Because they didn't show obviously the jungle part,
I think the gorillas might have something
because are you talking about man-ape? Or it's supposed to be
man-ape. Supposed to be man-ape.
Man-ape from the comics on.
They made him strong, hecka strong.
Yeah.
Like hecka strong.
Yeah,
supernatural strong because he picked up that dude and threw his ass. First time.
Exactly.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So here's my question to you. Here's my question to all y'all. Do you think the MCU could get a reboot of this whole thing? Like, do you think it's possible that they can actually end it at some point and then just either do a reboot or just say it's done, it's over, we did these like 35, 40 movies, it's done?
Never.
I think they're going to just continue on until...
Never. 100 years from now, when we had great-great-grandkids, they could be watching the new Marvel with the new Avengers doing their whole thing. Watch. Because that's money, bro. That's so much money down the drain.
RP is advising he was...
For me, though, I feel like they should keep the MCU going, but in a sense, like, I'd probably say, like, kind of do, like, a reboot or kind of do, like, a remake in a sense, or even do it to where it's like, okay, like, once this multiverse saga is done, leave that alone and focus on a different multiverse.
And they'll probably do that like in
like
sagas.
Earth 616 and all like that. Like
they'll probably do that in sagas. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they already did that already, so I mean that could possibly happen. I mean, they already say like in the multiverse you can see a different Iron Man or a different Captain America because they say he can possibly be the Hydra version. You know what I'm saying? In the multiverse, just like how he was in the comics. You know what I'm saying? How he already said Hell Hydra already. So I mean, it could be a teaser of like we could see like that different version of Captain America. You know what I'm saying? And, like,
I'm gonna be real. We don't need. I personally don't need all these movies that are coming up right now. I need maybe a handful until they get their bearings together on how they want to do this new saga. Because technically, this have to be a whole new saga because Infinity War saga is over.
Yeah, Infinity saga is
over.
So, but you know what happens after Infinity War? Secret Wars was basically you seeing the way now because you got the scrolls and everything up there.
And that's what I like. So I personally, if they're going to keep some of the characters in there, that's cool. But I want these characters to be surrounded. I mean, not surrounded, but I want the characters' plots of all of the movies and shows to be surrounding one thing, like surrounding defeating the Skrull invasion. Yeah. Right? That could be a really long-standing. There could be like 10 movies off that, bro.
Yeah, because you think of this phase 4, they basically start off with the House of M story first, and then I don't know if that's going to lead. We most likely going to see more of the multiverse with the Doctor Strange and everything, because they already teased we're already going to see 3 Spider-Mans and possibly in Spider-Man 3, or they probably could see like a live-action Spider-Verse, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They pretty much did the same type of concept. Go ahead, D.
I thought they denied the rumor of the other 2 Spider-Mans in there.
I think maybe possibly for the third film, probably, but I mean, you'll never know. We probably might see a cameo with them because even this multiverse, we gonna for surely see some cameos in this Doctor Strange movie, bro.
Yeah,
because they've been saying that they've been teasing this movie about that like since the Phase 4 thing started with when even at Comic-Con and all like that, like.
But the multiverse might not show all these characters we talking about. It might show a few, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 that are
But if
relevant.
it's based off a multiverse, they gotta go in some direction with that. And they probably might show not everybody, but I'm like,
well, no, wait. Are we saying that the saga is based off the multiverse, or
no, it's just based off. I think it's based off this movie because I think after that, I don't know.
Well, that's one movie, bro. I don't think in one movie they gonna show hella characters. I think they might show.
No, I think this saga is where they start introducing a lot of other characters. And to be honest, like with them doing the Doctor Strange and Madness of the Multiverse, this is a perfectly good way, I feel like, to introduce the X-Men, because in a whole different multiverse there could be X-Men. I could go on with that. I could do that as a thing.
I think they won't, cousin. And I think the reason why I think that is if they even one X-Men, if they even mention or put one X-Men in it, it's gonna take away hella from the movie that we're watching. It's gonna take away from Doctor Strange. We ain't gonna care about him really. If they show 3 X-Men at 3, we gonna be like, Doctor Strange who?
But I'm gonna be honest,
we ain't gonna care about what's
going on.
You
know the MCU gonna be different how we seen it through Fox though. If that's the case, if they supposedly rebooting the X-Men though.
I think they gonna do it in such a way to where
we probably not even gonna see the originals first.
Exactly, we gonna see like the new mutants and like their kids and stuff like that. Probably do some stuff, and then they're going to probably have their.
That's what probably gonna bring Professor X and probably all the main ones in.
Their movies is going to tie into the OG X-Men most.
But I think Logan, like Wolverine, just in general, he probably might be separate from the X-Men from the beginning.
You know, he's not doing. He said he's done.
Now he's done. Wolverine. Yeah, I mean after Logan, why would you probably want to come back after that?
I don't know. If I was Kevin Feige and them, I'd be like, here, bro. I don't know,
bro. You know they gave him the back for that. That's up to.
I'm gonna be like, yo, bro. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. How you was doing it over there, that's not how we doing it over here. We champagnes and bottle servers over here, okay? Here's the big bag. Here's the big bag, and you ain't got to do that workout regimen that too, because you know he was hating the workout regimen that he had to do. You ain't got to do all that.
Like how it was with Fox and all that.
That way still is though.
That's exactly, and I'll give him the bag. Because it's Hugh Jackman, bro. I would give him the bag similar to I would give him maybe a few million under Iron Man. And that's only because Iron Man.
He was the best character. But
Iron Man got getting that money because his agent held on point. But honestly, Hugh Jackman,
I'd probably give him more than Iron Man because it is Wolverine.
You're right. I'm being stupid.
He was like in a light. He was a popular character.
He's Hugh Jackman, bro. He's been 11 years, right? 11 years he was Wolverine.
Something like that because it was X-Men 1, 2,
was 20. Who was 11 years?
That's Iron Man because you in 2008.
Yeah, Iron Man was
Wolverine been here since 2000.
He been 20 years,
bruh. That's what I'm saying. Like he's been in what 7 movies, bruh. They even had him come back and do the cameo in Deadpool 2.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they used the scene from what was that, X-Men Origins? Yep. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yep.
No, but that was actually him coming back and doing.
Oh, is that right? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, that's dope. I didn't know that.
Like part of it was from the movie, but they actually had him come back and do that quick 5-6 second thing, and I was like, yo, they probably gave him at least a smooth couple hundred wows to do that.
See, now that's why I was thinking it could possibly be a possible way he could come send it to you because Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool and
Ryan Reynolds they best friends. So this is what I would do if I was any of the leadership at Marvel right now. I would talk to Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, bruh, we will give you more money, more budget for this movie, or even more money on the back end if you help us persuade Jackman to get up in here.
You bring Ryan Reynolds and Jackman together, bruh, as Deadpool and Wolverine, bruh. Bro, I'm gonna be honest. That's the main thing everybody gonna want to see. To be completely honest, they'll forgive all these new characters coming in. To be completely honest, bro, because you can do a lot of things with them just based off their story in general, bro. You can talk about that for real.
I ain't gonna lie. What they could probably do for Deadpool 3 is actually probably call it Deadpool versus Wolverine, and have Hugh Jackman come in for that. That would be lightweight lit.
Yeah, but
for real. Bro, who would not want to see that? Because that's why we thought we was going to get that in X-Men Origins, but how that turned out, I was like, bro, what is going on, bro? That was not the Deadpool or even Sabretooth. They were not like the characters.
He should come back, though. I mean, he make money doing all the other movies he do. And
he'll be completely different how he was from Fox. I think they'll have him in the actual classic costume in the MCU. how he was with the yellow and all like that. I think they'll actually throw like the throwback costume on him with this, because I'm like they were supposed to do that in the what was that? What was that in Days of Future Past?
In the Wolverine.
When they yeah, it was the Wolverine. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was the Wolverine. When they had the throwback costume on there, but they didn't have him wear it though. They just had it out. Like they just teased it.
But I think after they did the release for that, I think they did like some kind of like special edition version where you no longer even see the costume.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like they put stuff. People be putting little teasers in there sometimes just to get people talking.
Yeah.
Right?
True that.
That was a really good teaser. And I was like, oh damn, maybe next one. No.
Because be honest, we definitely seen a lot of Mephisto like Easter eggs in WandaVision, bro. Like so for them not to show like you know what I'm saying, either Nightmare or we was kind of like what. But at the same time, the only reason I can let it slide because we know Doctor Strange coming in. That's the only person we know that can handle it, or either Scarlet Witch because she got the main power at this point. But I mean, we don't know if Mephisto can be in control of that going forward. Like because we seen what Addis did with her, but she overcame her. But Mephisto, that's a whole different ball game right there. So it's like
yeah, but she reading that book.
That's what probably might bring him though.
Oh yeah, that might be like a beacon. For
that's
him
what I'm saying. That's what probably might bring either. I don't know if it's Nightmare or Mephisto because they say it's Nightmare, but I'm like I'm seeing too many Mephisto Easter eggs in this though. So I'm like I don't know. They probably just might.
Is it possible then that the kid like that her hearing her kids is actually Mephisto manipulating that?
It could be because I mean we seen it.
So she can try to like.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean you'll never know, bro, because you seen how she was manipulated with you know what I'm saying with Agnes.
Well, what if her children are in the realm of Mephisto's?
Ooh,
probably,
bro.
And like you know, because they're not technically alive.
And you know how they? Oh, bro, that just made
technically they're not alive anymore, but they are created, right? So they're probably in a place of like you know, like the abyss or like hell or I don't know where.
Mephisto's realm, because that's
Mephisto's realm.
That's how
like that.
His souls. That's how he was doing it. Like even Marvel Ultimate Alliance he was playing, where they did that. Like,
yeah, like
how
playing with souls and stuff.
That's why I feel like that's how most of the characters come in too, because that's how he's connected to like Ghost Rider and all like that. Like that's how I feel like that's how they gonna all come in too.
That'd be cool. And that would make her really like that would be a great like plot. Like really, you want to get your kids back, you got to fight the big bad.
I mean that's the way to finish off her arc too. To be honest, right there.
Yeah, that'd be wrong. I dig that.
Yeah, be clean.
I'm not even gonna lie though. When they were doing the WandaVision series though, where they did the episode where they were supposed to be in the '90s, and they were kind of in a sense they were supposed to be basing off of Full House.
Yeah,
that'd have been hella dope if they would have actually had the Olsen twins in there.
Yeah, right.
Like just like a little snip somewhere. As much as I don't even like Full House, that would have actually lightweight been dope.
You realize in that one episode with Quicksilver that he was acting like Uncle Jesse from that one show that we was talking about, bro. That was hecka funny. What's his name? John Stamos. Remember
yeah, John's the dad.
That's how it seemed like Quicksilver was acting like in that one episode.
Not John Stamos. He wasn't the dad. He was.
No, he was the uncle. He was the uncle.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it reminds me just like how he was on there. That was hecka funny. It just gave me like
and
a lot
showed
of.
Up in the '90s.
Right. Yeah. Then they brought up Malcolm in the Middle and all like that, and I was like, damn, like you can tell by the theme songs and all like that. I was like, damn, that brought me back. Like
I like that they're actually doing Scarlet Witch this way because I wasn't a huge fan of her, you know, in the other movies because I felt like all she was doing was throwing plasma balls is what it looked like. And then when she fought Thanos, I was like, okay, this is raw. And then they didn't really show nothing else because she got hit with a blast from the ship. So I wasn't really able to see all that she can really do. And I was like, damn, she was supposed to be like, you know, House of M, no more mutants type of stuff. Like she can be able to really change reality on a universal scale. And with all this magic she might be learning, she might be able to, out of nowhere, spark something in humans to where there now are, you know, mutants. Well, she already did that by, she did that unknowingly, though, of course. Yeah. But now she can be able to control it.
Could it actually be... it might make a lot of nerds
she mad. Can do that.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying. Like,
think about it. So it might make a lot of nerds mad, including y'all. So would it be a trip if, like, 'cause I know in the comics she says no more mutants, but in MCU, what if she was to say something like hella off, like have more enhancements, and those are basically
I would like
the
that.
mutants?
I think that is cool to me because technically, I was just telling you, technically. It's already proven that her ability can create mutants.
Right.
It's already proven that her ability could create enhanced people, mutants, whatever you want to call them. And that's when she couldn't control her powers, and that's when she did it unwillingly. But what if she does that willingly, knowingly, and she just says, "You're a mutant, you're a mutant," or like you said, all mutants, or let's make this town mutant town, or something like that. Let's make my own.
I can see it to where maybe what she would probably say is like, I'll put it this way. So at the end of the madness, like Multiverse Madness movie with Doctor Strange, at the end he could just be like, yeah, like, we really needed some help, and we could have been like, we could have used like some more of the Avengers, and she just kind of goes, like, this could be actually be like a post-credit scene where she just goes, why don't we just have more enhancements, and she just does like her little move thing, done. That way it's not actually showing any mutants in this movie to take away from Doctor Strange, but it could be setting up future movies with X-Men incorporated because she made enhancements.
Right.
True.
I think she'll do that eventually. I think
Very
because why would they even? Okay, technically they didn't have to introduce Monica Rambeau as a mutant. They didn't have to do that, right? They added that little part in there, and then they honestly far-fetched to make it make sense by made her, say she went in 3 times, and because of that she became a mutant. So it was really far, but it made, they make it make sense. Why would they do that? Oh, why not to just have her just be a regular person, going back in and trying to save her as a regular, FBI agent? I think they did that to lead up to her being able to not only realize her power to be able to create mutants, but her to be able to create a community of mutants, like her own people, her own home. Because that's one place she don't have right now. She don't have family, and she don't have a home.
Exactly.
So what about her just being able to do
that?
So
let's look at it this way. Though. So again, Wanda had these powers all along, but the stone is what enhanced it, right? See, keyword, enhanced.
Right.
So could it be that Monica technically always had this ability, but because she went through the Hex, and since the Hex is created from Wanda, whose powers were enhanced from the stone, when you go through the Hex, if you have that ability in you, it now unlocks it. So that's why she had to go through it 2 or 3 times in order for that to really be brought out.
Oh, I don't know. I think that would be cool. I think that would be hard to explain. Because Marcy said that her DNA was rewritten. And mutants, the difference between them and humans is that their DNA is a little bit different than ours. I guess something about their genomes or whatever.
It's always been different, but it was never rewritten.
They have the X gene or whatever. But she said that hers was rewritten. So maybe hers turned into mutants, or maybe her mutant gene was written in a certain way to where it manifested that way. I don't even know. I think that it'll be really hella coincidental that she's a mutant, and she's the daughter of the best friend of Captain Marvel, as well as the daughter of somebody who started SWORD.
But that could be the whole thing though too, because it might seem a bit far fetched, but like I said, when she said your DNA has been rewritten, that could just be purely just because she doesn't know, they don't know that her DNA wasn't rewritten. It was just enhanced. They just look at it as rewritten because they've never seen this type of thing in somebody's body before.
Oh, that's fair. You know what? They would have to do it exactly like that, or it won't make sense.
That's what I'm saying. We have to be just like that.
Yeah, but when do they ever do it exactly like how it's supposed to make sense?
Honestly, because it's Kevin Feige, it could be done.
It can.
They could probably even come up with a better idea than what we just came up with, but it's doable.
It's doable. You're right. It is doable. That'd be good. That's for sure doable. I think however they do it, they have to make it to where Scarlet Witch is either a hero or an anti-villain.
I think she most likely gonna be the villain at this point now, because she started off as a villain where you see where she was trying to become a hero, it didn't work, where it went bad ways. You seen that Civil War and all that to a point. It's it's no other way she can turn at this point.
Then she found herself. She found
right. She got the full power now, and then she using that book. It's it's no other way to turn but at this point. You know
I feel like I felt that way until I seen.
That's
her
why I feel like
release
they might kill. I feel like they might kill her off at this point.
But the heroes ain't gonna kill her off. They have an oath to her. They have like loyalty. I think that
or somebody got to
government-
sacrifice with her.
I think
Like
the government gonna be after her because of what she did to those
So
people.
you can even look at it this way too.
But they
Okay, I'm gonna end up bringing up probably the worst movie in the MCU, Thor: Dark World. I'm gonna bring that up right now.
we were just talking about that too, bro.
So so think about it like this though. When Thor's girlfriend had as I said, like so when Thor's girlfriend had the ether in her body, did her DNA get rewritten because she technically had a stone in her body? Or did it do something else to her? Because it was going through her body to where she like the stone was protecting itself.
I think it was just like an entity existing in her. I don't think it messed with her cells. I think it went into her like a vessel, and that it was waiting to be released to how, whenever they extracted it from her, it was easily extracted by just calling upon it. I think, and I don't know if they actually said, I don't know if she was actually under observation when she had it in her. I don't know if they were able to see her DNA. If so, then that'll be a little bit different. But I think it was just like her being a vessel.
I have to go back and watch Thor 2 because when she was on Asgard, they're actually able to see what's going on through her body, but they got different technology than we do here up on Earth.
Right.
So they could probably see something more advanced than what Earth was seeing.
Did they mention it? I haven't seen it in a minute. Did they mention anything in that scene when they were observing her body that it messed with her DNA or like her composition or anything like that?
I'd have to go back and watch it and see because I don't think they. I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't think they mentioned it.
All right. Well, in that case, let's say she is just a vessel. In that case,
but it has to be the case because they bring her back though.
Yeah, she's still alive.
She's supposed to be that's what I'm saying. So they have to explain that if they're gonna be bringing her back.
It will be just like how it is in the comics, which didn't make sense in the first place.
I really don't understand the Jane Foster.
Did you read it?
Nah.
So I read it just because I had to see why, right? So I read it and I was like, they didn't have to do this at all. Jane Foster has cancer, right? And because of that made her very, that gave her a lot of humility. It gave her a lot of peace and understanding.
Made her worthy,
basically. And one day, I forget exactly what was happening. And the Thor's hammer appeared, Mjolnir appeared somewhere, just appeared to her. And she picked it up and she became Girl Thor. And Girl Thor is pretty much just like Thor. She gets buff and Thor armor and all that, but then the helmet's a little different. And she's just invulnerable to cancer at the time. But when she's regular her, she still has cancer growing. So it's like I don't know. They made it.
I'm not sure how to incorporate that with this one just because of the fact that Thor doesn't have Mjolnir.
But that's what they're going to do.
He doesn't have that. He has the Stormbreaker.
Wait, where is Mjolnir?
No, because remember
Captain America brought it back.
Yeah, he had to take it back. So
Mjolnir is with Captain America now.
Yeah, so
but he went back.
But he came back
But he had to give it back, because he had to get the stone back too. So he had to give Millimir back, right?
He didn't come back with Mjolnir. He only came back with the shield.
I know, but you said he just kept it at the house. I was like, this is mine. I got you. That makes sense, because I wouldn't give a Mjolnir for nothing.
He probably had to put that back too.
Huh?
If you think about it, for him to put the stone back, he probably had to put Mjolnir back because it belonged in that time.
That's what I was trying to say. That's what I meant to say. Actually, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, so in that case,
because remember he had both of them when he went back. Remember that when Purple Hulk was basically shipping them back to take the stuff back.
Okay, hold on, no. Because now it comes up with a timeline issue. If that's the case, they can make that make sense. Never mind, I just worked it out in my head.
So
I was going to say this. Hold on.
Now with the timeline being all screwed up, that could potentially create a new multiverse.
Well, I was going to say.
I was going to say that's going on
in that timeline where Jane Foster exists, the Jane Foster Reno, Mjolnir broke it. It was broken by the sister, by Hela. Hela broke Mjolnir.
Not until later.
Well, no, but Hela broke.
That was after. What's that? But that was leading into the
But that was still before in Endgame. So because that it was prior to Endgame, that was already history. That Mjolnir was broken, and that's why he had to find another hammer. So I'm like, how can that be? But it just made sense in my head. I was saying it would only make sense if he went back to that exact moment or that exact, era in time, and then put Mjolnir back in the broken Mjolnir's place. You feel me? It would make sense then.
But no, because it still makes it a different timeline.
No, not if it went to the past, into a different past, and into a different.
So because Cap is here, everything already happened here, right?
Right.
If he was to go back into the past and to place everything back to where it belonged, it doesn't. I don't think it's necessarily that it needs to catch up, because if you think about it, the Soul Stone was still taken. You can put it back, but Black Widow is still dead.
Right, because the Soul Stone is a unique instance, because the Soul Stone, to create it, you have to give up your soul. You can't get that back. It's not like somebody, a body, right? The soul is an intangible thing. That soul was used to create that Soul Stone, which that one's a little difficult to understand, I guess. They just made that into like one of the things that they do. But I think that
and that's why the Sorcerer Supreme was so big up on it, because she's like, yeah, if you place the stone back in its rightful place, then everything is fine. But if you think about it, it wasn't just the stones that were taken out. It was Mjolnir was taken out. Black Widow went to go ahead and go into the time frame to go get that. They went to go get the Tesseract from 2 different timelines, and they took it. In fact, remember, because that's where the Loki spinoff is coming from, is because of when he took it back in 2012 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and that's how. Yeah, because we don't know where Loki gonna go in his show too.
Yeah, but Mjolnir, because okay, if we're going how they said time works, right? The timeline where we are currently, the time stream. Let's do that. The time stream that we're in currently is different than the time stream that Mjolnir was broken in Thor Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? So those are 2 different time streams and different timelines, like times of currency. So let's say Captain America went back to that specific time stream and that time and put Mjolnir back. Jane Foster would have access to Mjolnir if she's, if they find her worthy.
But
feel me?
But that's the thing, but that would still be in a whole different timeline, because it would still follow into what Thor 3, it would happen in Thor Ragnarok, to where it breaks.
So it won't, though, because remember, it's 2 different times. How the Sorcerer Supreme explained it is how the Sorcerer Supreme explained it, as well as Banner and them, when they was talking about how it's actually time is different. If you go back and change something, that doesn't catch up to where you are currently. That creates another time stream, and now it's something different. And that's what I mean. He would go back to that different time stream where Jane Foster existed to do all that stuff. Because the Jane Foster in this time stream, could be different. She might not even be a thing. I don't know how they're gonna make her, but she might be the same.
I don't want them to do it I don't want them to do it as a whole different time stream, because there'd be a lot of. I feel like there'd be a lot of filling in that they would have to do. There would be like a lot of filler that they would have to incorporate in that. So that's the thing. So it's kind of like, okay, like this is like the timeline that we were used to. They take the stone out from here, it creates this alternate universe now, right?
Right.
Create this alternate universe. But now when he goes back and puts it back there, this storyline now disappears. So that means that this would still continue.
Right.
So because of that, she still can't get Mjolnir in this timeline, because it just continues now. So
you're saying he didn't put Mjolnir back before making the timeline disappear, the time stream disappear. You're saying that he put Mjolnir back in the current time stream that all the that Wanda is in now, that Captain America and Falcon is in now and stuff like that. Winter Soldier and Falcon, excuse me.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing though. So that's all we really know of, because the Sorcerer Supreme was mentioning that they can only, like, she was only talking about the stone. She never really mentioned what happens if you were to do something totally different. Because if you think about it, just from Banner talking to the Sorcerer Supreme about that, we don't know if that same timeline is going to happen. We don't know if that intentionally happened. So basically, like what was going on in Avengers, they're looking at it as, okay, this over here was happening, but little did we know, way over here, Banner is talking to the Sorcerer Supreme. So now with that being said, she's saying, okay, if you place these stones back in its correct time, like back in its correct spot, everything would be fine. But she's not necessarily saying either if you remove an item from that timeline, if everything would still fall in line. Because now, like I said in Thor 2, if he doesn't have Mjolnir, will the story still play out?
You're saying it's like if you take a missing piece of a puzzle piece, although this puzzle piece isn't as big as this other puzzle piece, it's still a piece missing. So now that it's different than the original piece.
It's still not complete.
That's interesting. Huh. I wonder if that only applies to those Infinity Stones because they are constants of the universe, or if it contains to anything like a person leaving or going, or something as powerful as Mjolnir. That would be interesting.
I think it's probably just based on the stones.
Now let me ask you this now. If you think about it, Cap still messed up the timeline because he is now in the past.
Yeah.
He never came back until he gave Falcon the shield.
Right.
And we don't know if he actually came back, if he just waited out until he got to that point in his age.
Right.
We don't even know
or
how.
if he basically multiverse jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know.
Wait.
We know he didn't multiverse jump because there wasn't that machine in the past, and he didn't come back to that machine. He was outside of the machine's range. He was by the water on a bench. So I think, Deontay, I think your first suggestion is correct. I think he waited.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Could it be that he basically waited long enough to where there is that machine up in that universe, and then he jumped to that multiverse? Because everything plays out so differently now.
I would say Cap. The reason why I would say
you gotta
probably
remember
less
that Cap
likely.
knew about a lot of that history at that time, because everything was building up to getting that time machine. If you remember, because you remember him and Tony Stark had to go back into the 70s to get some things to help them with that time machine. Remember that? I'm trying to remember what was that. What was that they had to go back for in that,
went back
in
and
that
got
base?
the
They had to get the Pym particles.
Yeah, the Pym particles.
Pym
yeah,
particles and the Tesseract.
and all that's connected to the time machine and the quantum road too. So I wonder if that takes a place up in that too. Like,
I mean, but Cap.
Okay, now, right there.
I
Right
don't know.
there.
That's
Keep that
far-fetched. That's possible. It's just really far.
No. Terry, think about that concept, right? They came and took the Pym particles, right? Now, tell me in the movie Ant-Man, in the beginning, he was saying, like, you guys didn't think that I wouldn't know that you guys were trying to create, like, my Pym particles?
right.
I caught you guys trying to create that. For all we know, them taking those two Pym particles could actually led up to an Ant-Man where he was like, oh, I found out what y'all did. You basically took them. But it's like, nah, we didn't take it. It's just, we didn't do anything. So that could potentially still be within that timeline for saying that had to happen. So we don't know if taking an item actually messed up the timeline, or if it was supposed to, or if it was still part of the timeline. We don't fully know. But overall, because Cap stayed within the past, I feel like that actually alters the timeline. Because if you think about it, he could have definitely tried to go and help find what's his name, his friend Bucky.
Well, to be honest, he wouldn't even have to do nothing. Him being there alone would change the timeline because he don't belong there. He belongs in the present. Wait. Now, but he currently now is in the present. But that's because time sped up. But nope. I'm going to debunk us, Deontay. I'm going to debunk us right now.
All right.
He currently, so in the past, he already existed. Remember, he was just in ice. So those 70 years of him being on Earth or in that timeline happened. He just was either on land with his woman or in ice.
Because
so
he was with Peggy.
It made
you gotta
sense.
Remember, because he was
with
Peggy.
He was dancing with Peggy, which means that although he existed in that timeline, it's not him breaking the timeline because he was already there. He was just in different locations of the Earth.
Yeah, but that's what how could he think about Sam the Shield?
If he's
right.
there,
exactly,
he's got to still be encased in ice.
Because
he has to be encased in ice with that timeline instead of being with Peggy. Because are you going to sit here and tell me that now Peggy wouldn't realize that, here's Cap walking up to my deathbed, but I was just with him. I was married to this nigga the whole time. She would recognize that face still.
Well, I think in the new timeline, the new thing that changed is that he's with Peggy. Like, he's with Peggy instead of not being with Peggy. So anything that surrounds Captain America's home life changed when he went back. But that's still him being in that timeline.
But it still changes because remember they did the TV series Agent Carter.
Yeah,
and he was not there.
Oh yeah,
in Agent Carter, he's not there. And when they went back into the past, she had his photo sitting right there, meaning that he was already dead.
Yeah, he was.
Like he was already dead. Like he already flew the plane into the what is it, like into the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not there. She's not gonna have a photo of him right there, reminiscing about how she wishes he was here when he actually is at home right now. He's not gonna go into hiding because people would know what he looks like.
Well, no, he wouldn't need to, right? Because he's supposed to be there, right?
He's not supposed to be there because you got Cap over here encased in ice, but then you got Cap over here living his life. There's two of them in that time frame then.
But is Cap encased in ice at the time? So, okay, the reason why I say that is, do you guys remember when who was talking to Cap? Someone was talking to Cap, and they were like, well, why didn't you just jump out? He's like, I didn't think about it at the time. And he's like, oh, well, all right. Who asked him that?
I think I remember somebody saying, I don't remember who that was.
Who asked him that? He's like, hey, man, so they're like, hey, why don't you just, jump out? I'm like, oh, I didn't think
Sounds like something Rhodey would say.
I think it was Rhodey.
I think it was Rhodey.
He's like, why don't you jump out? I think that, he went back and didn't go in the ice. Literally jumped out.
So that would still alter the timeline. That would still alter the timeline because remember they found him still encased in ice. They was like, oh my God, he's still alive. Unless he did something different to where he was encased in ice again for whatever reason, but that would just make it too weird.
That would make it too weird. You're right. He would have to be encased in ice.
Man.
Because just like when they went to the past and he had to fight himself, there's two of them.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just realized because we already hearing that he is making a return. So what if we possibly might see that?
I don't know. That's confusing because the way their concept of time in their universe contradicts itself in that way. Because if Cap did go back and he did fill in for his other Cap, which could be totally fine, Peggy would have married him. Peggy would have married Captain America, and the time would have been, some things would have been changed. Like S.H.I.E.L.D. would have looked different. Captain America probably would have been the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while. Like, things would have been a little bit different.
Okay, look at it this way.
Like, remember explained it the best.
Remember in Dragon Ball Z where Trunks went into the past so that way he can, basically warn the Z fighters about Goku's health and the androids?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, he altered the timeline. But the reason why Android 17 and Android 16 and 17 came about, was it 16 and 17? Yeah, 16 and 17 came about was because Cell went into the past, so it still altered the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So then when Trunks goes back to his future, nothing changed. So now there's two timelines. I feel like that's basically what happened with Cap when he went back into the past to basically put all the stones back. He fixed he fixed the timeline for that time, but because he stayed,
he made another one.
It creates another rift.
Then how did he get back? How did he get back to timeline 8?
Yeah, that's true. Because the Sorcerer Supreme said that. Yeah, the Sorcerer Supreme was like, She pretty much explaining it better.
Oh,
she was like,
I see what you're saying. Okay.
If you decide to come back, you will create a rift in the timeline.
Yeah, I think
and that could be like dark
you're
or something
saying
like that.
Him going back
or whatever.
created that rift, and then he lived his life with Peggy, and then when the time came, he used the technology in that time to boom back to the timeline A.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's
crazy. Why he looks so old. That's why I was like, yo, if we could get a Captain America series,
like I said, Deontay,
give us that timeline because he can be doing so much over there.
If that's the case, they gotta explain it just like that. If they don't explain it like that, it ain't gonna make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I know science, bro, and I get the concepts of reality and time and all that stuff. We have to work that out.
I mean, what if they might
But I
show
was
that?
saying,
Because
like, how I was just explaining it, that's the best way they can really do
But
it.
their
They go
creative
into more
group don't be
detail
explaining
about.
it like that.
That's
I mean,
if
the
anything, they just
Russos
have
and
to go into
Kevin
more
Feige got so
detail
far
about,
forever, hopefully
like, you know, like maybe certain items, like, you know, had to play out the way it did. But if you stay in that timeline, it's a totally different ball game.
Hey, you know what? Hey, quick question. Do y'all think? Because I always wondered this, and I mean, like, obviously, you know, with them trying to make the multiverse and different things like that, do you think that when Cap went back in time to try to put the stones back in place, do you think he ran into trouble?
No.
Oh,
Remember when Loki? Remember when they took when they went back to go get the Cosmic Cube, Loki took it and got away.
And that creates a different rift as well.
Exactly. And the only way that they got back was because they had the little particle things, you know, like the, you know, whatever, to kind of like have enough, you know, time fuel, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like, I don't know. I feel like they should make something like that.
Well, it showed that, but they're about to explain it.
What happened? You said what?
In his show, they're going to explain like what happened after he got the Cosmic Cube, because I don't think he created.
Exactly.
I don't think he created
So
the mischief that
wonder,
we think. I think he was caught, and they tried to. And then his mischief came, but I think he didn't really do much. I think he just ran away.
So then, is it possible then that in this Loki series, because the only reason why they caught Loki was because he was basically altering the time. Mm-hmm. So do you then think that this could potentially introduce us seeing Cap in his new timeline, to where they're trying to fix that?
I mean, they is bringing Chris Evans back, so I'm like, what if we might see that?
I mean, it would have to be because Cap created his own timeline. Let's say timeline B,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or time stream B, and then Loki doing that created his own time stream C. They would have to.
Yep.
I don't know. They would have. I don't know how that would be able to intersect.
Yeah.
Because with the Tesseract, you can manipulate space. So is the multiverse considered space or time? Is it considered a different dimension and not time?
I think it's all in the same dimension. I think it's all in the same, plane of dimension, because there is already a time gem, and that pretty much manages all that time. But the space, they don't say it can't do that.
Space, man.
That's what I'm saying. So like with the Tesseract, I think because it alters the dimension ever so slightly, but you're still within that same time. You're just able to jump between a different, you're able to jump through space. But if he's using that Tesseract to unlock probably even more power, or maybe even his own power, he could be potentially jumping through space in a different dimension, a different multiverse. Yeah. So that could possibly be a thing.
That could be a thing, because they say they don't say you can't do that. And technically, if you know how to manipulate space in such a way, you could get to a different form of reality. If you could, I mean, technically, theoretically.
See, who needs college?
I'm telling you, I feel like their story group do not be talking about stuff like this, because
of course not.
They don't be.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Because let's be honest. If anything, some of the writers are probably not really like they look at things a little too deep when it comes to the comics. But it's like, you don't have to take everything incorporated from the comics. You can come up with your own little story here. Just like Hail Hydra, from what Cap was saying, that's supposed to be stemming from, from what we've seen, where he's like, okay, I'm gonna act like I'm part of Hydra with this.
Yeah.
But they took it as like, oh, this is when Cap was actually part of Hydra, but it was like a clone version of him or whatever. They're kind of like calling back to, in a sense, that.
All right, fam, I'm gonna have to head out.
We don't continue this conversation though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Y'all can continue for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to head out, get back on the road, back to the house.
For sure, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see you, cuz.
We're gonna cut the conversation right here, because this is just too much.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's too much. We ain't even talked about Star Wars and nothing like that yet. We definitely need more of these.
Right, my wife about to be here, so we about to go to Joanne's anyway. So
for sure. Let me put this out there. In 2 weeks, y'all know Falcon Winter Soldier is released, so y'all want to do a video on Falcon Winter Soldier in 2 more weeks when it come out?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey. So is we all watching that Godzilla and King Kong?
I'm watching it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm watching it. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Is we all watching that Mortal Kombat?
We should
Oh, yeah.
we should do like a little potluck thing. Meet up, do a little
Bro,
potluck.
'cause I'm trying to watch
video.
that. I'm trying to watch the Mortal Kombat. HBO going stupid this summer.
And the Justice League
Oh,
Snyder
this
Cut come
season
out
on
too.
now.
Yep. So and that's all coming out this month. So I mean, we
It's
can
gonna
make
be
that happen
lit.
for surely, bro.
Wait, is Justice League coming out this month too?
Yeah, they all
Yep,
coming
on
out this
18th.
month. Yep. All these movies we just said.
snap.
They all coming out HBO.
Everybody about to
Bruh,
have HBO.
I'm gonna be totally honest, bro. I'm gonna be totally honest, man. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Don Justice. That movie was stupid to me. But when they did the characters, and now that we got Darkseid,
Cool,
bro.
Love you, bro.
Darkseid, and the Spectre is my favorite DC villains, and Lobo.
I'm a little hyped about it, but I think I'm gonna still get a little disappointed though.
Yeah,
Yeah, with
I hope,
DC, you
bro,
don't know
they
what
have
to
to-
expect from them, bro.
it's Darkseid, bro.
It's Darkseid. That's
Right.
that's like the Thanos of DC, bro.
Bruh,
Mhm.
exactly. Bro, that's like messing up Thanos, bro. You could like here's the thing, bro. If they tank with this movie, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. Hey, a lot of people is already capping and roasting the new Joker, bro, saying he looked like Marilyn Manson and stuff, bro. I was like,
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I like the way the new Joker looked though.
He
'cause
for
that
surely better
Suicide
than
Joker
the
was
from
trash.
Suicide
Oh, yeah,
Squad.
of
For
course,
surely
of course,
better
of
than
course.
Suicide
I'm
Squad.
like, nah, we can stick with this Joker.
Yeah, they had my boy like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
cholo
I ain't
for
gonna-
real,
I
for real in
do think-
Suicide Squad, bro. They was like, they did him out of pocket
I'm
on
not
that
gonna lie.
one.
I do think they made him look kind of dumb. Like I don't like the fact he looked like he just came out of Chef's Kitchen. I feel like they could have gave him like slightly a little bit of a rugged outfit.
They probably
But
might see that.
I
They
don't
was
know.
probably.
I just
We
hope
don't
they
even know if
don't
that could be
mess
from the
up
movie. You know what I'm
Darkseid.
saying? I mean, I feel like he kind of gave me Heath Ledger like Joker vibes in a way, just with the long hair and stuff like that. And you know, it's a lot of stuff I can tell they got rid of.
Yeah,
like,
here's the thing. I hope they don't.
nah,
try
I
to
know they
mimic-
not for surely not.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
with
I
this
hope- I
one,
hope
it's
they don't
totally
try to,
different because you bringing like
mimic
God
the,
level tier
version.
characters to this story. So I mean, it seemed like just based off these characters, I mean, hopefully they can bring Injustice's story up in this because I mean, based off these characters, I'm like, that's what's basically only people they left out is Black Adam, and we gonna get Black Adam eventually with The Rock. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
To be honest, trash this whole DCEU universe and just start off with Injustice. Like, like this new Batman movie they're doing, you can start Injustice from that.
you could,
Hopefully,
you
bro,
really could, bro,
hopefully.
for real. And you already got
Man,
it.
I'm
You-
gonna have to go ahead and go.
For
but-
sure, for sure, cuz.
Alright,
For sure,
alright, cuz.
Most
Yeah,
definitely, bro. We gonna continue this most definitely.
All right,
And tell the family I said what's up, man. Love y'all. Yep.
Show,
definitely.
show.
All right, for
All right,
sure.
one love, y'all.
Guys,
All right, yep, we out.